and good evening, dear friends from all over the world, and welcome to this MASCC membership webinar. I am Corina Vendenhurk from the Netherlands, and I'm a researcher and a member of the membership committee who organizes this webinar for you. And in this hour, we will take you in the wonderful world of MASCC. And you will learn about how MASCC is organized, where you can find information, but we have also wonderful special guests who share their experiences with the association with you. So first, some housekeeping notes. Please use your Q&A function below to enter questions for our panelists. And you may also upvote questions you are interested in and use the chat to interact with your fellow viewers. And everything you put in the chat and the Q&A will be moderated by my friend and colleague Annie Young. Annie is Emerita Professor of Nursing from Scotland, and she's a MASCC board member and also the leader of the membership committee. So for now, my question for you, Annie, what does MASCC mean for you?
MASCC means for me that MASCC is one big family to me, and MASCC means that we all are interested in supportive care for cancer patients, and that we can find our niche, and it's high quality education and research. So that's what MASCC means for me, but it's more the camaraderie and the friendship, but also the excellent academia as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Wonderful. Yeah. And I can add to that indeed also what MASCC means for me. And that's also mainly the feeling of a family indeed. And my story is that in my early years of membership, I wasn't active at all and only attended the annual meeting. And in one point in time, I started to proactively contact some colleagues who were interested in the same topic. And that was at that time cancer-related induced alopecia. And it became more or less a snowball because the more senior researchers introduced me again to other MASCC colleagues again. And then we were able to start several projects together. So now I am, like I said, a member of the membership committee, but also the co-chair of the oncodermatology study group. And that is really, really a fertile ground to start beautiful projects together. And there are now more than 10 projects in our group, and also in collaboration with other study groups. And we create new ideas together, then set up studies and also publish scientific papers. So there's also very valuable scientific output, like Annie already said. And for example, I've also presented posters and oral presentations during the past 10 annual meetings I attended. And in recent years, I've also organized workshops at the annual meeting. And that again, always introduces me to many new people from all over the world. So yeah, the snowball goes on, but also the involvement in all projects, and that's really worthwhile. So, but like Annie already said, most important maybe within MASCC, I was lucky to build friendship for life, and that's making that meetings also feel like a reunion and always smiley faces and happy people. So that's my story. And then I would like you to introduce Roxandra Nidu from Canada, and she's the Associate Director of MASCC. So Roxandra, also for you the question, what does MASCC mean for you?
Thank you, Corina, for the introduction, and first of all for organizing the webinar for us. And thank you everyone for joining. I'm very, very happy to be here. So when I think of MASCC, to me, MASCC is my second home. I joined MASCC less than a year ago, and I felt so welcomed from day one. And that really meant a lot to me. I also feel like MASCC is very, very unique in the sense of being very collaborative, interdisciplinary, very inclusive, and it really welcomes everyone, no matter the background, no matter the profession, everyone who has an interest in supportive care in cancer. So, and another thing that I really find absolutely fascinating to me is the global reach. I think it is really the only organization focused exclusively in bringing everyone together in order to make excellent cancer care possible. So yes, family, home, along the same lines like you and Annie.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. And then the second important question to you, that is how the organization is structured and what the most important activities are. So you will show our members where to find information. So the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So let me share my screen with you. Can everybody see it? Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. So in terms of the governance, I really wanted to start off with bringing up our mission and our vision. So the MASCC mission is to improve the supportive care of people with cancer from diagnosis through treatment and survival to the end of life. And basically, it's about enhancing the quality of life for all cancer patients and survivors. Our vision is for MASCC to be recognized the international leader in supportive care for healthcare practitioners and really be the go-to resource for anyone who's looking for any information specific to supportive care. And at the bottom, you can see together supportive care makes excellent cancer care possible. This is really our mantra, and we truly believe that together we can make this happen.
Roxandra, just a quick note, can you flip your display? Thank you.
Oh, sorry, thank you. Perfect. So in terms of governance, MASCC is governed by a board of directors, which is elected by everyone who is a MASCC member. I think perfect timing. Currently, we're having elections for the next board of directors for the 2022-2024 term. Elections opened earlier this week on Monday, March 7, and it ends, I think, April 4th. So for the next 4 weeks, you'll be receiving reminder emails. Hope everybody got the email in terms of asking you to vote. So everybody has an opportunity. The results will be made available and announced in the Society News, I think in the May issue. I put here just a print screen of how the email would look like for you, just to, to recognize it very quickly. And the second piece, in addition to the board of directors, we do have study groups and subgroups. These are groups that are very specialized and focused on specific critical areas in supportive care. This slide shows you all the study groups and subgroups that we currently have in place at MASCC. There are 20 in total, 16 study groups and 4 subgroups. For example, the education study group has a subgroup, the digital health. Survivorship has the exercise oncology subgroup. And members from these groups, they conduct research, they provide expertise, they develop practice guidelines, update the guidelines, develop educational materials for practitioners to share with patients, and really work towards promoting and raising awareness about supportive care issues. So there are many benefits in joining a study group, and you as a member have the opportunity to join up to 3 study groups. There is an opportunity to get involved in research, guidelines development, surveys. Also is the opportunity to help with the annual meeting, review abstract submissions, develop proposals for workshops, for parallel sessions. And it's really a great way to collaborate with experts in the field. Wanted to also talk about the virtual education opportunities. We do have an education portal where you can find various webinars, various courses developed by our study groups. I listed the resources currently available. However, stay tuned. More webinars are coming up soon. An important thing to know is that we also make available in the education portal different key sessions from our annual meetings. So the main benefit is that you can view all these resources at any time. Just make sure you come back in here and you check out what is new. So in the next few slides, I will focus on some of the resources that we have available on our website. This is our MASCC journal, Supportive Care in Cancer, one of our members' benefits. Members have full free access to the journal, which is published monthly and available in print and digital versions. I included some important information, some data about the journal, the impact factor, the submission timelines, the number of downloads from 2020. And if you are interested in publishing or be a reviewer, here is the contact information for the journal, Lori Fleming, who is the editorial assistant. The next resource, MASCC guidelines, they're developed by our study groups, and often they're developed in partnerships with other organizations. They're available for download on the website. We do have a dedicated page that is focused on, has all the guidelines in one place. In addition to the guidelines publications, you also have access to summaries in PDF and Word format. I provided here some examples of guidelines. The antiemetics guidelines, which are currently under review, have been developed in partnership with ESMO. The mucositis guidelines, recently updated in 2020, developed together with ISO. Very interesting, the guideline summaries for mucositis have been recently made available in, have been translated in 8 languages. So overall, on the guidelines webpage, we have more or less 40 resources. And we are also trying to, to highlight which ones have been updated recently, which ones are under review, and which ones are new. Stay tuned. A couple of more guidelines, new guidelines will come up in the next couple of months. Also wanted to emphasize that MASCC has 3 assessment tools and apps. I highlighted it here. And they're really available to assist healthcare providers in clinical practice with either monitoring, assessment, reporting adverse events for patients. All these tools are very well researched. They're easy to use. They also include user guides, brochures for patients, and you can download them from the website, either in PDF or Word versions. The first 2 are also translated in multiple languages. For example, the MAT tool in 18 languages and the MOAT in 7 languages, which is great. So this slide focuses on the MASCC books. We currently have 2 books available, which are invaluable resources. The MASCC textbook of Cancer Supportive Care in Survivorship. The 2nd edition was published in 2018, which was a complete revision, includes 42 chapters within 12 sections, and it covers the entire spectrum of supportive care topics. You can find information to improve management of symptoms and side effects of cancer and its treatments. The second book I want to highlight is the Diagnosis, Management, and Emerging Strategies for CAPN. The 1st edition in 2021, it's a comprehensive resource that enhances the understanding of CAPN. So as a member of MASCC, you are entitled to a 20% discount on both books and as well other Springer titles. So when you log into your account, just click on the book discounts to access the discount code. If you're looking for education materials to share with your patients, you can find this information under the study group pages. I just highlighted here a few examples from mucositis, oncodermatology, and oral care. Briefly wanted to bring to your attention the global job and fellowship opportunities. Often organizations that share a focus on supportive care and have positions available, they would come to MASCC and for help with these job postings. So if you're interested, make sure you check out this webpage. It's always been updated with job postings that are available out there. So of course, our wonderful event. This slide is about the MASCC ISO annual meeting, a 3-day event generally scheduled at the end of June. This year, we're very happy. We're hosting a hybrid meeting in person in Toronto, June 23rd to June 25. The scientific program is available online. As a member, I want to remind you that you do benefit of reduced registration fees. So encourage you to register, and before the early bird ends on April 13. It's a great opportunity to network, to learn, to meet your colleagues. So please join us between June 23rd, 25th, and we're really looking forward to meet you all. Here are some ways on how to stay informed and updated. Of course, our monthly society news, which is our monthly newsletter. This is a great place where you can find out about what is happening at MASCC. Another way is our social media platforms, and I shared here the links with you. Before diving into a live walk, I really wanted to take a moment and introduce our MASCC team that supports all the work that is happening behind the scenes. 6 members in total. It's a great, wonderful team, great mix of skills. Most of us, we are from Toronto, Canada. Beth is from the States and Sasha is in Denmark. So Sylvia Black, she's our communication specialist. She puts together the society news and leads all the communications on social media. Melissa Chin, she is our executive director. She has been with MASCC for 5 years now. She's currently on maternity leave. However, she's coming back in the next couple of months. Beth Holland, she's been with the organization for over 20 years. She's the web manager and graphics designer, so she really manages the website and she helps with everything related to design. Myself, Ruxandra Nedu, I'm the associate director. I mainly support Melissa. I oversee the study groups, and I'm also responsible for sponsorship. Sasha Stupak, he's the membership manager, and he really helps with everything that's related to IT. And Jocelyn White, she's managing everything related to our annual meetings. In addition, she also assists with webinar productions, and she's helping us today with this webinar. So this is our team. I included our contact information, our emails. Feel free to reach out with any questions. We're more than happy to help and answer any questions you may have. So I wanted to take you through a live walk through the website, just because every time you join an organization, you may find challenging to find some of the things on the website. So just quick tips I want to go over with you. However, an exciting project that is currently going on right now is that we're updating our website. But anyway, the rollout date is going to happen just before the annual meeting at the end of May. So you'll see a lot of improvements. We got feedback from members, from the executive, from the board, from study groups, and we're incorporating when we are developing our new website. So let me actually turn off the slides for now. And I will just so this is when you access the MASCC homepage. This is the main image that you see. I'm currently logged in, but let me log out. So the login button is on the top right hand. So once you click the member login, it takes you to this login page. And what's very helpful here is that whenever you forgot your username or your password, here is where you can access to reset your password or change your password. Once you log in, so this is the page that comes up. On the top, you can see information that's related to your membership. And then right here at the bottom, this is a box that allows you to access, your profile. And really what I want to encourage here is time to time to come back and make sure, all the information is updated. And the way you can do it, you just edit, you change, I don't know, maybe your organization, your email, your phone number. And also here is the place if you'd like to switch study groups or subgroups. You just click the drop-down box and you select the study group that you'd like to be part of. If it is a subgroup that you like to join, digital health, you have to first join the study group, the parent study group. So for digital health is the education study group membership. So you'd go to the study group and you'd select education. So I'm canceling, and I'll just go back to the main website, the main page. So here are some icons that are really quick icons that I find them personally very, very helpful. So the first one is related to the online journal that takes you directly to the journal. And if you have the opportunity to view all the volumes and the issues in here. Same with the society news, it's available, all the issues are available on the website. You just click which ones you would like to look at. This is the March issue with Annie Young, our board member, a message from her, messages from, our study groups, of course, Toronto. So everything that's happening within MASCC, you can find within the society news. The educational portal that I mentioned to you, you click on it and you just have to make sure that you have to log in order to view the resources within the portal. So here are all the courses, the webinars that we currently have available. You can just click under details. You scroll down and select what session you would like to go over. You can pause, come back at a later time. That's the beauty about the education portal. Whenever you have time available on your hands, you can come in here and view some of our resources that we're offering. The MASCC guidelines, as I mentioned to you, we have a dedicated web page. It is organized by study groups. So the first one, antiemetic study groups, bone, immuno-oncology. And as I mentioned to you, we have notes in red next to the guidelines to just give you a very quick status update, whether they're updated, under revision. Some of them are new guidelines. I also mentioned that you do have the possibility to download the PowerPoint summaries or a Word document, which is a summary of the guidelines. Here's how you renew the membership. You can also get, you can download your membership certificate. One section that I really wanted to highlight to you is the directory, which is a great resource. You can connect with your colleagues. So a quick way to go to search is either by name, by email, by profession, by country, You just select, you make those selections. You also can search by study group. However, here are instructions. So for example, you're interested in everybody who has joined the antiemetics guideline, antiemetics study group, sorry. You have to click the antiemetics for all these 3 options in here in order to, and then you click search. Also, we have a search option for the subgroups as well. Again, you have to select first the parent study group. For digital health, if you're interested in finding the membership for digital health, first you have to select the education study groups. I also mentioned the book discounts. So you are entitled to a 20% discount. I feel, yes, here is the information, and also on all the Springer titles. And I think, yes, here you can also access the journal as well. So this is very quickly about our website. Stay tuned. It's going to be updated. It's going to be even more, so much, you'll see so much, many improvements. It's going to be absolutely fascinating and so much easier to navigate. So we're really looking forward to roll it out, as I said, at the end of May. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take any questions that some of you may have.
Thank you very much, Roxandra. I'm really impressed by the new website indeed. It looks very wonderful. Yeah, so it was a very comprehensive short course about MASCC and practical issues. And maybe if there are really important questions right now, any that pop up, otherwise we will go on with Professor Miriam Lesberg.
I think we should go on just now and take more at the end, Karina. Thank you.
Yeah, we have enough time at the end indeed for questions. So please hold it there and we will get back to you. So I'm very happy to introduce Professor Miriam Lesberg from Yale University College of Medicine in the US. And she is the incoming MASCC president for 2022 to 2024. So also for you, Miriam, the question, what does MASCC mean for you?
Yes, and Jocelyn, if you can turn on the video when you have a chance. But yes, so glad to be here today, and there we go. All right, great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. So yeah, so MASCC has absolutely been a global community of like-minded researchers, colleagues, and friends over the years. And I will show you a few slides which really show how my professional development in my career and how that was influenced by my involvement in MASCC. So please allow me to share my slides. And I hope you are able to see them. Yes, great. So, so my story in MASCC, I attended my first meeting in 2012 when it was in New York City, and I had just completed my medical oncology training and was a early phase breast oncologist at Ohio State University in the Ohio State. I was very interested in symptom management and survivorship, but hadn't quite formulated exactly the area of research I wanted to focus on. And as I cruised around the meeting, I stumbled upon an amazing plenary talk that actually changed the trajectory of a lot of the research that I do. And it was a talk by Professor Steve Sanas, who is very active in MASCC. He's currently an active member of the mucositis study group and has multiple other international roles. And in this talk, this is now, remember, this is 2012, where people were actually not talking about genetic predictors of toxicity as much then as they are now. And he gave this really incredible talk on the work that he was doing and the company that he had started, looking at different genetic predictors. How is it that one patient may have a lot more toxicity than another patient? How can we predict that? And if we know the answer, can we actually act on it and mitigate with prevention strategy or more rationally designed intervention? And I was absolutely enthralled. And I emailed him after the meeting. I was too shy to go up to him during the meeting, but I could have. And after a few email exchanges, I'm still in active collaborations with him. We are working on a number of projects where we are building this body of work on multiplex genetic predictors of toxicity. So I think my intent in sharing this story is that if I hadn't attended this meeting, I would have never really crossed paths with him, and it really opened a lot of doors for me. After the New York meeting, life happens, and it also shows you that career trajectories are not always a straight line, and there could be winding roads. And so I continued to work on grants and research, had my first baby in 2013. And at the time, there were no hybrid meetings, there were no virtual meetings. This is all pre-COVID, obviously. And so I was an active member, was getting newsletters, and was most involved with the neurological complications study group, which is my primary research area. But a lot of meetings happened in between. There was Berlin, Miami, Copenhagen, Adelaide. And you know, at the time, although I was an active member, it was not possible for me to travel to these meetings, but I still stayed connected, continued to build collaborations. And then when I was ready, I attended my next in-person meeting. And because I had stayed involved through the study group, working group in neurological complications, and I was really building a body of work in chemotherapy-induced neuropathy, I put my name in the hat to become the vice chair of the neurological complication group, and also pitched a collaborative international review on genetic predictors of neuropathy. So kind of connecting back to the New York meeting and the ideas that have been generated there. I was still a fairly young, early phase faculty member. And I think it highlights the democracy and the opportunities in MASCC, where somebody like me who was just beginning her career could be elected to a leadership role, which continued to open up additional opportunities for me. Then in the following MASCC, because of the accomplishments of the neurocomplications group, we wrote a number of papers and started additional collaborations. I was next elected as chair of the neurological complications group in the Vienna meeting, which was again a really wonderful opportunity. And this continued to further foster additional other opportunities and other organizations. I started working with the Italian Toxic Neuropathy Consortium at the same time, and that was also made possible through my work in MASCC. Then the San Francisco meeting, the neurological working group really started taking off. We started writing a textbook. We organized a paper on cognitive issues in cancer, started further subdividing the group into thematic areas of different neurological complications, one on neuropathy specifically, one on cognitive changes, one on biomarkers, and one on non-pharmacological interventions, looking at exercise, acupuncture, and other interventions, and also organized an international neuropathy survey with some of the members of this this webinar, including Professor Nekodov. And then COVID happened, and sadly, the 2020 MASCC Seville meeting was actually postponed, and the meeting last year was 100% virtual. During this time, it actually allowed us to do additional Zoom meetings, and it really, I think, invigorated in some ways the working groups, because many of us got very comfortable meeting on Zoom and doing these virtual collaborations. And this was also at the time where I was elected to the MASCC board and elected president. And then in 2022, in the Toronto meeting coming up, I'm thrilled to assume the presidency of MASCC and continue these collaborations. So I will maybe turn it over to Karina, because this was one of the questions I think that she was going to ask me. And let me pause there.
Yes, indeed. Well, very impressive, Miriam. So you also have your snowball effect, like I described also in the beginning, but also the opportunity after the opportunity, and you made it yourself. So yeah, very impressed by it. Can you maybe share something about what you hope to accomplish during your term as a MASCC president?
Ultimately, I want to give back. I think, as I mentioned, MASCC has opened up so many opportunities for me, and I think there are so many things we can do together, both with new members, existing members, potential members who are considering MASCC. I think lots of opportunities for collaboration, leadership, and to continue to really build a global network in cancer supportive care. So I think my future goals for MASCC include more mentoring, more sponsorship, even more research, advocacy on several fronts, including patient advocacy and also global advocacy. There are multiple gaps and underserved regions in the world where cancer supportive care is so much more limited than we have access in many parts of the world. So I think as global leaders in cancer supportive care, I think further focusing on this area would be important. And then continue to really be open to ideas from our members. I think because we're so multidisciplinary, where we come from a number of different professions, I think it's a really wonderful chance to find innovative solutions, because we all have different skill sets. We can really cross-germinate and bring kind of innovation to cancer supportive care and cancer survivorship. So I think I'm looking forward to essentially having an open door, i.e. open email policy where members can really contact me with ideas. And there was a great idea in chat, and I put my email down so that I could further correspond. No idea is too big or small, very open to hearing input. We may not be able to do everything, but there's no harm in tossing around ideas and brainstorming.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, a lot of work to do. So never a dull moment again, if it was already there. But you say more input from engaged members. How can MASCC members also help you further to achieve your goals?
So I think as you heard, it's fairly easy to become a member, but to really get as much from your membership, I think finding a home or two within the study groups and the working groups, I think is really key. Getting to know your chair and vice chairs and expressing to them your interest. I know some of the groups may be meeting more regularly than others, and if you feel that the frequency of the current meeting times is not meeting your needs, not being afraid to say that and saying, I'm looking for additional opportunities, I'm looking to lead a paper. So I think kind of engaging in the thematic groups. I really think it's key success in MASC. And then, if at all possible, attending the annual meeting in person, and if not in person, virtually. I think you will find that you'll create a lot of fruitful collaboration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Thank you very much. And I, like Annie and I already addressed MASC like a family. You at home might feel a little bit like a new one among the big names, but you hear already now from Miriam that those big names also have many reasons to join MASC, and it's really okay to touch base with them because MASC is really a very low-key organization. So feel free to reach out. So very inspiring from Miriam. And then now it's my pleasure to introduce Paz Fernandez Ortiga from Institut Català d'Oncològica in Barcelona, Spain. And she is a MASC board member. So dear Paz, also to you, the first question before I give the word to you, what does MASC mean to you?
Oh, hello, everybody. And after such a nice presentation from Marian and Rosanda, I have to also add something about that global community that we are, and all of us as professionals, we are with the best intention to give patients the best care and the excellence in supportive care. And for me, MASC means also like a professional family, and also a friendly and a research group, an educational group. In some way, it maintains the fuel and that you need for the whole year after going to MASC and sharing with your colleagues and sharing so much knowledge. Usually this help to fuel the rest of the year and just to try to maintain knowledge every day. That's all. And
yeah. All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much. And you also have prepared some slides to tell us about your experiences with your MASC membership. So the floor is yours.
Okay. I try to make the controls. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, here it is. Sorry. Well, I have some slides. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, as Corina has presented me, I was involved in the MASC just by chance. One of my colleagues, Dr. Sultan Kaf, just engaged me to be part of one big study that we did in that moment. And the biggest study was the nurse role in the new oral drugs administration for cancer patients. And I thought it was very interesting, and very soon I was included in the group, and I did a lot. In 2007, we did a paper, all the group together, and we published the results from that big study with more than 1,000 of professionals involved. So I am a member of MASC since 2008, and in my first congress, I got one of the grants travel just to be able to go, because for me it was very difficult to get the funding and to be in the MASCC. So this is the results of the paper about how was the nurse role in patient education, which was very interesting just to realize how many commonalities, also difference, but also commonalities in between the countries we have in regarding the education we gave to patients when it was oral. At that time was the beginning of the oral therapies. After that, my first Congress was in Houston in 2008. And I do remember from many other Congress how alone you can feel in some Congress when you don't know anyone, when you are not involved in the groups, or when you are just going alone by yourself. And what I really remember more and what was lovely memories I keep from that event was that we soon make a very strong group, and we were from all over the world, from China to Australia, Turkey, Kenya, Slovenia, Sweden, Italy. So my first impression was so positive that it really keeps me, I'm still smiling about that. And we include a very good study group where all of these persons were plenty of expertise in their area, and also many commonalities. I get also good friends and good colleagues, like many of you have explained together. After that, as a result of this Congress and this work together, we get one of the mod tool about the education, the patient education for those patients that receive oral therapy. And after that, we are keeping very good close friendship with many of them, and you can also recognize some of like Margaret Fitch or Judy Johnson, which were from the very beginning of MASCC, and they are always encouraging young people to become MASCC members. That journey, what I get during these years is like a journey all together, keeping very good friends and also very good colleagues for research and for studies. And after that, we start some other projects. This other one was for the European grants, and we asked the whole group, and many of these persons we first met in that Congress at MASCC. So, trying to summarize what the journey must help me to extend my network, my network of colleagues and my network of friends, extend also other countries and other continents perspective, culturally difference and also some commonalities, extend my competencies also in research. And I get some certificates that also have impact in my career, in my curricula, for some of you that are young people also. And also we engage new projects because we get such good group that we engage new projects. For example, with some of them, we engage a systematic review. With some others, we engage this grant for the European Commission grants. With some of them, we work about the mental health community and the mental health patients with mental health problems, and we get also some research about the impact of tobacco for cancer patients. As some tips, if I have to talk to new members or to some other colleagues that want to be MASCC members, and they are MASCC members, what I can say to them, just if you're new in MASCC, just try to make discussions, get time to, firstly, ask for help if you are alone, because we have a big group of persons that are always thinking of those that you are new. So try to make and to contact to others that can help you. Second is just talk with the other participants. Do not stay only with your group, with your institution, or with your country, with those that you know. Just talk with everybody. I mean, what are you doing there in informal and informal way? Be inclusive with the others, and and the others will be also inclusive to you. And do not fear about, try to make contacts, participate in the study groups, and be active in giving feedback to the presentations, because for researchers and for those that we are in the practice, like me, I am in the hospital right now, and it's very helpful to get some feedback from others about what I am presenting, and I keep learning. And as for grants, travel and research grants is a good opportunity also. Don't be shy. Don't think that your project is a small one. Yes, could be a small, but also have possibilities. And work around the stands and get a coffee with people. And after the Congress, also enjoy a beer with colleagues. And now that we are online also, we will enjoy some beer all together. And also what to do after the Congress, for example, what to do on the meanwhile of a year from one Congress to other is just keep in contact with those MASCC colleagues and ask them how are they, mail them, check the web, send some news also to journal. The news could be like a small news about your research or the interest you are. Be active in reading the journals and papers, and use Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Participate in the study group studies in the other ones and questionnaires, and also this help to disseminate that. Use the MASCC-like guidelines among your colleagues, among your institutions, and also propose your ideas for studies to other study groups and to the country. And just finishing, just when you travel and visit the countries, is a good chance to visit other hospitals, other teams, and also to establish some cooperation and volunteer in other countries. Right now, our thoughts are in Ukraine, so could be a big chance, and we wish them a lot of luck. So right now we are wishing to meet you all in Toronto. Thank you. Bye. Hi.
Thank you very Thank you very much, Bess. That's a wonderful story again you shared with us. And we ran out of time. So we only have a couple of minutes left. So maybe some questions, Annie?
Yes, I'm going to summarize the questions because we've been answering them online. So this is two-way. We are desperate to have your engagement, and we would love you to email. Miriam's put her email on the chat and all the questions, and we will email you back. There were some very specific questions, and we will aim to answer them about specific study groups and specific guidelines. Overall, Paz, you can maybe help me. There's a lot about language. Can we translate into Spanish? And I know that the membership committee were thinking and doing one of these very get the most out of your MASC membership in Spanish, but some people have been asking about French as well. So Spanish, are you going to say hello to the folk who are here from Brazil? Portuguese? Portuguese as well?
Sí, bienvenidos en español y en portugués, que ellos pueden entender muy bien. Y yo realmente les doy esta bienvenida y les invito a formar parte de este grupo tan numeroso. Es un grupo mundial con grandes posibilidades. Bienvenidos.
Thank you. So we're at the very beginning of translation with our, well, not translation of our guidelines. There are many languages for our guidelines, but translation in the conferences and in the study group. So we are trying, and we're starting off with Spanish and to get new members in. So Miriam, you mentioned underserved groups, and there's a lot of questions about I live in Bangladesh, or I'm from Bangladesh, not even lower income countries, but upper middle Turkey, saying, can you help me with joining and also going to the conference because it is expensive. So I think, Miriam, shall we answer these questions separately as well?
Yes, no, I appreciate the interest. And how about we kind of reach out individually and really think about, I think virtual access, certainly, in person as always has its benefit, but I think in terms of content and getting updates, I think virtual access will give you access to all the materials and things like that. And there are opportunities to make that possible.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Larissa, are you on? Larissa Nekridov, so new members are asking about mentorship, and that's something that we all got at MASCC as well, but informally, and we were wondering if there's anything happening with more formal membership just to kick folk off as new members, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we are working on developing a more formal mentorship program, and that is still a work in progress. This is actually the reason why I joined MASCC as a new member actually in 2020, during the time when international travel and local mentorship really became impossible. And so absolutely looking at developing a program. But in the meantime, I think as Miriam and others have said already, definitely don't be afraid to reach out to existing members, join a study group, connect with the chairs and the co-chairs, and, feel free to email people, contact people, follow up if they don't respond to you right away. It just means that the email might have gotten lost somewhere, in their in-basket. So definitely do that, and stay tuned for a new program, hopefully in the upcoming year.
Okay. One more thing about, I'm going to give to Roxandra, and then I'm going to hand back to Karina to round this up. Roxandra, regularity of study groups. So some people are finding they're in study groups, but they don't have regular meetings. There are some that have very regular meetings, but others not so.
Yeah, there are study groups that have monthly meetings. There are study groups that have quarterly meetings, and some of them meet every 6 months. This is not to say that they're not active in the background. It's just that they have working groups that, you know, they meet separately, and then they just have the study group meetings to provide the updates of the working groups. However, if you are part of a study group that you feel like, you know, they're not meeting as often as you'd like, as Marian has mentioned before, don't be shy and just reach out to the leads, to the chair and the vice chair of the study group, and let them know what is it that you're interested, what is it that you're looking for, how would you like to be engaged in the study group, share your ideas, and, you know, just brainstorm with them. My personal experience with the study group leads has been exceptional. They're very, very responsive and very engaged in their work.
Thank you. So we're all female together. It's International Women's. It was International Women's Day yesterday, wasn't it? So great for the women. Karina, thank you so much for organising this from the membership committee, and thanks to all the panelists. Great enthusiasm and engagement. So thank you, and please engage with each one of us. I can see you're doing that in the chat, but we will get back to you. Okay, thanks, Karina.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
Well, there were also some questions when you applied for the meeting. So we will also make sure from the membership committee that we come back to those questions too, because it was also about study groups, etc. So that will be answered too. And then the webinar has come to an end. I would like to once more highlight our MASCC annual meeting, because you can still register. Also, the early bird fee are applicable to until April the 13th. And also the submission is open now for late breaking abstracts until March 16. And yeah. In conclusion from this webinar, I think that you all have shown that MASCC is one of a kind in inclusiveness and produces very fruitful collaborations. And become a study group member, because that's really important. Just join, there are no requirements. Come up with new ideas and projects and use the MASCC community to make your idea grow. And I think then the important take-home message is from our incoming president: the opportunities are endless. So make your first step to improve supportive care through MASCC. So dear friends, dear all, thank you so much for joining this webinar today. Thank you, panel and MASCC staff, for your contributions and your enthusiasm. And have a nice day, a nice evening, good night, and we will meet again. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Wonderful. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good day.